Good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about section 1.1, points, lines, and planes. So what I want you to do is open your composition book and divide your page into 4 not equal columns. So the word column can go to the left of the pink line and then spread everything else out. Once you have this set up, you are going to open your textbook to page number 4. And you are going to take the 10 words that are on your note page that you picked up. Actually, I think it's 9 words that you picked up. And you are going to define them, draw a picture of them, and you're going to name them. So right now, I need you to hit pause and do that. And you can rejoin me when you are finished. All right, welcome back. So right now, what I need you to do is to think about what you just did. So things that you guys talked about. First of all, we had a point. So a point has no dimension and it's represented by a dot. And really when we label a point, we just call that point A. A line has 1 dimension and it's represented with 2 arrowheads. So you have to make sure you have arrowheads on both ends. And when we talk about a line, it extends both directions without end. There are 2 ways to name a line. You can use a single lowercase letter that can usually be found at one end of the line, or you can pick any 2 points on the line and use the little double arrow symbol above it. A plane has 2 dimensions and is represented by a shape that looks like a floor or a wall. A plane extends in all directions without end, and when we talk about a plane, you can use a single letter to name that plane, and it's always preceded by the word plane. That single letter is not associated with a point on the plane, and it's usually found in one of the corners. Or you can pick any 3 points on the plane as long as these points are non-collinear. All right, so moving on to the next one to define, line segment. A line segment is just part of a line that consists of the endpoints and the points in between. So it's also denoted by 2 letters. If you will look at that symbol though, there are no arrowheads on that symbol. A ray is a part of a line that has 1 endpoint and extends without end in one direction. So when we look at a ray, we can look at this ray, and right here we have our endpoint A. And if you look, that beginning is right here. So it's kind of like when you have a picture of the sun, okay? It's like the sun is your starting point and that ray is extending out. This letter has to always be written first. So wherever your ray starts, that letter will be written first, and whichever direction it goes, that letter will be written. Okay, collinear points are points that lie on the same line. So you could have a line and you could have multiple points that look like this, and we could call them R, S, T, and U. But if I had some point K, K is not on that line, so we would consider K to be non-collinear with the rest of the points. Coplanar, similar situation. You have some plane, we can call that plane J. And I can put all the points I want to on this plane. So point C and point A and point T are on this plane, but I might have some point Y that is not on this plane, and this would be considered a non-coplanar point. Okay, moving. All right, so intersections. So if we look at my picture, we have line L and line M, and line L and line M intersect at point A. If you look at the picture you guys have, you have line T and you have line B, and your 2 lines intersect at point N. So when you look at the picture on your notes, the 2 lines T and B intersect at point N. Okay, so now 2 planes intersect in a line, so that would be like where the floor meets the wall. And when we look on your picture, you have plane A and you have plane B. And plane A and B, you have an X here and a Y here. They intersect at line XY, and we could call that line XY, or we could call that line YX. All right, so example 1. If we use a diagram to complete the following. It says, what is another way for us to name line EF? So if I look right here, I have line EF right here. That could be EF, just as they stated, or we could write that line FE. Letter order is not important as long as both of the letters are on the picture. Then it says, what is the intersection of line AB and line AC? So when I look at line AB, here's AB, and when I look at line AC, two lines or two line segments always intersect in a point. In this particular case, they have point A in common. Example C. It says, what is the intersection of plane EFG and plane CGH? So remember, planes have three letters. So EFG is kind of this front plane right up here. And CGH is this bottom plane here. So it's kind of like I have the front and the bottom, and they intersect. Two planes always intersect in a line. So we could use that as line HG or line GH. Question D. Are points A, B, and E collinear? Here's point A, here's point E, and here's point B. And the answer is no. They are actually not in the same line. They are on the same plane. Therefore, they are coplanar. Which is our next question. Are they coplanar? And yes, they are coplanar. Looking ahead. And question F. At a point T, which is collinear to point C and D. So CD is along the back right here, and I can add a point T right here that is collinear with those two other points C and D. To answer some questions. It says name all the rays with an endpoint at R. So if we look right here, we're going to have ray RA. We are going to have ray RC. We have ray RB. And we have ray RD. So if we look at our picture and we name opposite rays, so there are two characteristics of opposite rays. Opposite rays have the same endpoint and go opposite directions. So I could use this here, and I could use this here. I could use ray RC, which looks like this, and I could use ray RB that looks like that. I could also go this way and use ray RA and ray RD. So we have ray RA and we have ray RD. All right, so give another name for ray AR. In order to do that, we'd actually have to have another point on here. So we could put some point, we'll call that point G. If I had another point, I could rename it. Ray AR still has to start at A, and it's going to go in the direction of G, or I could actually start here and go in the direction of D. It says at a point G, collinear with A and D between A and R, and I actually did that on the last one. I jumped the gun just a little bit. So G is collinear with A, so it's on the same line as A and D, and it's between A and R. And then it asks if ray AG and ray GA are the same ray. So the thing is, the same rays start at the same endpoint and go the same direction. So because this ray starts at A and this ray starts at G, the answer here is no. They have different starting points. All right, so here I want you to go ahead and fill these in with always, sometimes, or never. And when you guys get to class tomorrow, we will go over these answers and start our lesson right there. Have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.